Prepare your working area with the things that you're going to need for this task. You will definitely need your photocopies. You'll need to refer to the work of your artist, in this case it's Iain MacArthur. This video is going to show you how to use a craft knife. You will need a cutting mat underneath and you will need your knife. Do not put the blade out too long, it will be too flexible and snap. It needs to only be one notch out and you need to pull back the black break at the end. Make sure the blade is the right way up. There's a pointy end, which is the side that has the cutting blade. Make sure that the blade is 45 degrees so that there's enough blade in contact with the paper to cut through it. And make sure that you hold the paper with your other hand. The hand is out of the way so that if the knife slips, it doesn't cut you, obviously. And you cut towards yourself because you have more control that way. You will notice that I turn the paper constantly so that I keep the direction of the cut the same, cutting towards myself so I've got more control. If the paper starts to buckle or rip, it could be that you've got your knife at the wrong angle. If it's too vertical, there's not enough of the cutting blade in contact with the paper to make a clean cut. It can also be that the blade is a little bit blunt and may need to be swapped for a sharper blade, but usually it is purely that the knife is either upside down, not at the right angle, or not going in the right direction. So just be aware of that. So here I'm trying to cut around the outside edge of the whole image. Look at the way that I'm holding my knife. It's like a pencil, it's not upright. It's at 45 degrees so that I can get enough of that cutting blade in contact with the paper and make a nice clean cut. Obviously, it goes without saying that we don't walk around the room with the blade out on the knife. We always make sure that when we're not using it, that we take the break off and pull down the blade to make it secure. The beauty of a craft knife is that you can cut out the inside details quite easily. Some people prefer to cut around the outside edge with scissors and then maybe pick out certain internal details with a knife. Some people prefer to do it all with the knife. It's a personal choice and there's no right or wrong. What I would usually have done is drawn around the outside of this image onto the A4 paper first and then start to cut away details on the edges, but because I'm cutting away an internal bit, I don't need to do it until now. Think about where you want to position the person. Are they going to be on the left, the right? It's usually better it's slightly off centre. You need to make sure you've got enough space to bring in the shapes and the structural developments from the composition you're about to create. Look at Iain MacArthur's work for inspiration and ideas for how you might develop. We're just drawing around these different shapes so that we can see where there's going to be the paper underneath showing through. You might then decide to cut away some other bits on the outside, some external shapes. I tend to look at the face or the hair to give me some sort of indication as to where I think would be a good position for me to cut away. So I've shaped the side of the face there, very much like Iain MacArthur does. And then I've looked and decided that actually I could take a little slither out of the hair that could just have a slight area of pattern or detail coming through there. We will also draw back into the photocopy later on to balance out the tones. So there are other alterations we can do later on. But by removing the paper, it takes away some of the darker toned bits and gives you a blank canvas to work on underneath. Now we need to think about sticking it down. You can put glue on the back of the photocopy, which is probably the best idea. What I've done here, I actually make a mistake. I've glued the paper that I'm going to stick it down onto, which would have been fine, but what I forgot to do was draw around the newly cut edge. So I've got areas where the glue is coming through and it's going to stop me working. I decided though to leave this so that I could show you how I would correct this if you did the same thing. You can see here there's glue on the surface, it's making it problematic. I won't be able to draw over it and design over it in the same way as I would do. You can see here I'm trying and it's just not happening. So the best thing to do in this situation is to actually cut away those areas that have still got the glue on, because as you can see, it's going to stick to everything. It's going to become a problem. And drawing, nah, it's not going to work. So what we do is we get our craft knife and we carefully cut back around that shape. So we're taking out the sticky section and that can be thrown away. We've got to be doubly careful on this because if the paper is slightly damp, it might tear a little bit easier. So we're just going nice and slowly and making sure that we've got the right angle for the cut. You completely remove the section once you've cut it out. And we will ultimately window mount, which means mount the paper from behind, so that we've got another plain, non-sticky surface to work on later on. Once we've cut away these sections, we get our second piece of paper. We put that underneath and you can see as you position it on there that there's a new white surface to work with. We will glue it down, obviously making sure that we don't go over the bits that we shouldn't have done, and we can start to draw the structure.